if I'm audible. Let me check rather if I'm audible. So guys, the result is over now, right? IUQM result is over now. Whatever things we could do, we have done. There were certain inadequacies in southern states also. In southern states also, we had some issues, but then we have to return, right? We have to return back to our normal things. The normal things being studying for IUQM 2025. So, in today's lecture, we are going to do ratio and proportion. Okay, ratio and proportion. My name is Prashant Jain, All India rank 42, JEE 2008, BTech IIT Bombay, author of 19 plus books, most viewed IUQM educator since last 4 years, mentor of AIR 1, 6 and 22 in ISI BMAT 2023, mentor of numerous top 100 ranks in JEE 2023, INCHO Gold Medalist, INPHO NTSE Qualified. Okay, let's get going, guys. So these are certain links. This is my Telegram link. Every single one of you should follow this channel. The reason why I want you to follow this channel is because every update about me, my courses will come here. Every single update will come here. Okay. Okay. Let me, just a second, let me open your chats. Let me open your chats, guys. Perfect. Now I can see myself. Yes. Okay. Hello. IOQM OP. I hope all of us are happy because of our IOQM results. Many people are certainly happy. I have seen them. They are very, very happy. Just a second. One question. Yes, you can ask that question. Okay, perfect. Now I can see myself. Yes, so today we are going to study ratio and proportion. So what are ratios? Ratios are tool to compare two things, right? Ratio is something which we have studied in class 6th, 7th, 8th, but we have actually not used it. That is what my opinion is. At least my opinion is this, right? So let's start with the basic. Let's start with the basic thing. What is a ratio? A ratio is a comparison of two numbers by division. The ratio of A to B is written as A is to B or A upon B. In the ratio A is to B, A and B are called terms of the ratio. A is the antecedent, B is consequent. Now this is something which is very bookish, right? Now we don't use it. We don't use this definition per se. Two things to note here is, comparison is always between same type of things. Same type of things. Okay. Definitely between same type of things. Is it okay? Between same type of things. Correct? This is one. This is one. Second, ratio is nothing but division. These are the only two things. What do we call A? What do we call B? It is immaterial. It does not matter at all. All we need to understand is that this is ratio between two things. And since these are quantities, these can be velocities also. Now velocity can be negative also. So this ratio can be negative, can be positive, can be zero also. So A by B is essentially can be any real number. Can be any real number. So these are the two things which you need to mention when you are writing the definition of ratio. You do not need antecedent, consequent. This I have included for the sake of it. For the sake of it means to complete the definition which you may write in your copy. Okay. One student is asking, how is your book for boards? I hope you are not asking about the IUQM mathematics book. IUQM mathematics book is not for boards, right? In fact, there are certain methods which are written there. You cannot use those methods also in your board examination. But yes, my Envision book of class 10th is highly useful for boards. If you want to grab that, you can definitely do it. You can definitely do it. Okay. So this is basic definition about ratio, right? Now, like I said, in ratio, two quantities are compared, so the quantities must be of same kind, that is, they must be expressed in the same units. Okay, and yes, ratio is unitless. It is always unitless, right? It is always unitless. The order of the terms is very important. 2:3 is not same as 3:2, right? Obviously, it is very important. Now, in this particular lecture, we are going to study very important techniques in which ratios are to be used. Just to give you the perspective, there is a very important chapter known as vector and 3D in mathematics. Usually it has weightage of 8 to 10%. Getting my point? So, which means out of 120 marks of mathematics in JEE advanced paper, around 12 marks will be of vector, and in vectors, ratio is of immense importance. For that matter, this is the form of line in 3 dimension. Just see, can I say that this looks just like 3 ratios being compared? Can I say this? Can I definitely say this? Right? So this is the importance of ratio. You need to understand the importance of ratio. Only then you will be able to stress on it. And why students tend to ignore it? Because these things do not come in class 9th and 10th. They may have studied it in their till their 8th class, but in 9th and 10th, they do not study these, and that is why they really do very bad when it comes to JEE mathematics. So this chapter is highly useful. This particular lecture is highly useful for JEE as well as it is highly useful for IOQM. Right? Perfect. Let's move on. The value of ratio remains unaltered if the given ratio is multiplied, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to consider it as a division. So if this is a division and I multiply m here and I multiply m here, it is immaterial. Obviously, m should not be equal to 0. Otherwise, you will end up making, in denominator, you will end up making 0, right? Which is not good. Okay. But now I am going to tell you something which you may not have studied till now, right? I am going to write that thing. Right? I'll write it here, right? Can I write this as ratio? See, x minus 3 upon 0 is equal to y minus 2 upon 4. Is this a valid representation? And if it is a valid representation, what does this imply? If this is a valid representation, what does this imply? You can directly say, sir, this is not valid. Sir, this is invalid. How can 0 be in denominator? I want to clearly differentiate between division and ratio, because majority of the students think that ratio is nothing but division. It is not division. Parikshit, what Prakshit is saying, yes sir, it implies y equals infinity. It is wrong. It is completely wrong. Just solve it, just solve it. How do we solve ratio? We put this equals a. Now we have this equation. Y minus 2 upon 4 equals k. This implies y is equals to 4k plus 2. So y is of the type 4k plus 2. But when you put these two equations, x minus 3, this implies x equals 3. So yes, this is a valid representation, but whenever you see this representation, always assume that the numerator is also equal to 0. This is the representation. This is a very important note. Every single one of you should mention it. If denominator is 0 in the ratio, it is possible, but it is only possible when numerator is also 0. So this implies x equals 3. Please write it down and write done in the chat. This is a very important point. Sir, can class 10 students learn this? Yes, definitely they can learn it. So these are basic lectures only. Like I am going to record a very important video, roadmap to IOQM 2025. I am going to record that, and in my opinion, that video is going to be very, very important. Right? Done? Obviously, yes, I am going to explain that. And in fact, in this lecture only, I think we will be using some of these techniques. Okay? Yes. Now, this is very important. To divide a number into parts in a given ratio, right? This is a very important skill. And I am going to use this skill as well. Let x be the given number. The given ratio is x1 is to x2. X is to be divided into two parts such that the value of first part is to value of second part is x1 by x2. So what does this mean? See, what I am trying to say here is divide 14 in ratio 2 is to 5. Okay. So in numbers it is very easy to see. Sir, 1 will be 4 and 1 will be 10. These are the two parts. Dividing whole into parts in a certain ratio. Divide 14 in ratio 2 is to 5. The two parts are 4 and 10. This is very simple, right? This is very simple. But when we do it in variables, then it becomes very, very tricky. And in fact, majority of the students struggle to understand it. If I say that x is the given number, in this ratio it is to be divided. If I say that the first part will be this and second part will be this, they feel great difficulty in understanding it. They feel great difficulty in understanding it. Okay? Okay? They feel great difficulty in understanding it. And see, like, even if you understand it, understanding and applying are two different things. Understanding and applying are two different things. You should be able to apply these things in problem solving. While doing the problems, you should be able to solve it. That is the most important thing. Yes, you should definitely listen to it. So see, like, this is the thing. This is certain example. You can do it if you want. Just do it. To divide a number into the parts. How it will be useful? See, let's do one example. This is A, this is B, this is C. Okay. Now let's imagine that this side is 26. This side is 30. This side is 28. This is angle bisector, right? This is angle bisector. What do I mean by angle bisector? This angle is equal to this angle. Now, we know that BD upon DC, this is angle bisector theorem, equals AB upon AC. Find BD and DC. Let's solve it. Let's solve it. Sir, please discuss about the scam and fraud done by MD. We want justice. See, like, we have done enough in this, right? Guys, we have to study also, right? We need to move on also. We cannot stay here forever. We have made 2 videos. I have made 2 videos. You have seen my videos. And I have mailed also. I have written on LinkedIn. I have written on Twitter. I have written on Instagram. I have written everywhere, right? Now it is upon you to spread that information. Nothing is going to happen if I come here and speak about it. Nothing is going to happen. I have already spoken about it. All you need to do is to share it everywhere. Share it on your WhatsApp channels, WhatsApp groups. Share it with your father, share it with your mother, share it with your family members, share it with your friends. Ask them to share it forward. Because this can only be resolved if many people talk about it. Right? Got it. Perfect. So see, now what I am going to do, see, like AB upon BC is 13:15. Now I always make sure that the addition of these two, 13 and 15, it is coming out to be 28, which means essentially these are the lengths only, because the ratio is 13:15 and the addition is also 28. So like I said, in one line, you should not be writing these things. So let x be this, the parts be x1 upon x1 plus x1. No. This is not board examination. This is IOQM examination. You should be able to write this in one line. That is the practice which is required. Okay. Okay. So like Prakshit is writing, it is incorrect. Getting my point? Guys, please like the video yaar. Come on. Please like the video. I request you to like the video. Perfect. Let's move on. So, if A, B and C, D are two given ratios, then, now do you agree that this is valid? Do you agree this is valid? It essentially says that A by B greater than C by D implies AD greater than BC. It is only applicable when ratios are positive. When ratios are positive. Please write this line. Ratios are positive. Please write it. When the ratios are positive, then you can write it. What is the cutoff for national certificate? I think the cutoff for national certificate is going to be 29. 29 is going to be the cutoff for national certificate. Right? Right? Got it. Let's move on then. Second point is obviously same. Yeah, but this is true always. Because in all such circumstances, you can just consider this as fractions. A upon B equals C upon D. Right? This is true always. Okay? This is true always. Ratios can also be compared by expressing the ratio in fraction. So this is the thing. This I have already told. Now again, these are included in the notes just for the sake of it, so that you can make proper notes. These are not at all important while solving an IOQM problem, right? Two most important things are, first is componendo dividendo, and the other one is addition. How does addition work in componendo, like in this? I will talk about them, right? So let's talk about them, right? This is all theory. It is not required, believe me. Compounded ratio. So all these things are important for ICSC students. In ICSC students, like this is, I think this is in their curriculum. It is not at all required for us. But I have still included it. So that you can make notes after downloading it, right? I will give you the proper notes. You can just write these things, okay? We are going to focus on the most important thing. Yeah, this is the thing. So this is proportion. So ratio, you have understood. Now this is proportion. When you say A is to B is proportion to C is to D, this implies that two ratios are equal. And this means AD equals BC. AD equals BC. Okay? Okay? Yes, product of extremes equal to product of means. That is true. Okay? Now this is important, right? This is important. These properties are important, right? Componendo, dividendo is still coming. So what is invertendo? So if this is the ratio, you just reverse it. Obviously, what you need to say here is that BD should not be equal to 0. Okay, B and D should not be equal to 0. So you have just inverted the ratio. There is nothing new in it. No, these properties are not at all important. This property is important. Whatever are the properties of proportion. So in ratio, only this thing is important, how to divide a particular whole into certain ratio. This is important, I agree. But in in proportion, there are certain properties which are very important. Invertendo is important, componendo is important, dividendo is important. Right? Perfect. Let's move on. If A is to B is proportion to C is to D, this result is known as alternando. Right? So basically, cross product you can say it, right? So this is going here simply. Okay. A by B equal to C by D implies A by C equal to B by D. Right? Perfect. Now this is componendo. This is very important, and the proof is also written here. If A upon B equals C upon D, you just add 1 to it, you will get this. Similarly, if you subtract 1 from it, you get this. And when you divide it, you essentially get, if A by B equals C by D, it implies A plus B upon A minus B equals C plus D upon C minus D. This result is called componendo and dividendo. How do you understand it? This is numerator, this is denominator. Numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator is equal to numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator of the right hand side. This is left hand side, this is right hand side. The left hand side is being transformed in this manner. Right hand side is being transformed in this manner. You just need to understand it. You just need to remember this thing, that the transformation of left hand side is same as the transformation in right hand side. Right? In fact, you can also write it like this. If A by B equals C by D, it will also be equal to LA plus MC upon LB plus MD. This is very important property. You can write it. Please note it down, guys. This lecture is going to be around 75 to 90 minutes. Please write done if you have understood it. I am just going to write the dividendo also. If you have written them, just write DN. I expect you to make notes, guys. Right? If you are here for casual watching, then there are many interesting things on YouTube to see rather than this lecture, right? My face is not that beautiful that you just come to see me, right? There are many beautiful faces around there. Just go and see them. If you are here, if you want to study properly, study in proper posture, make notes, ask doubts. That is how it is to be done. Otherwise, there is no point of me taking these lectures live. I might as well just record these lectures and put it. Shaurya Kumar Maurya is saying, sir, 21 marks not qualified. Come on, yaar, you have got 21 marks. You should be very happy about yourself. If you have such a beautiful rhyming name, Shaurya Kumar Maurya, right? How many of us have this type of rhyming in our names, right? You will always be an interesting person in a room just because of your name. This is so good. Okay, let's move on. Right? So this is called componendo and dividendo. Now this is something which we will study in GP also. This is called continued proportion. If A upon B equals B upon C, it implies B square equal to AC. Now B is called geometric mean of A and C. Now how many of you want to know why it is called geometric mean? What is so geometrical about it? How many of you want to know this? How many of you want to know this? Why it is called geometric, sir? Thank you, Babita Singh. How many of you want to know, sir, why this is called geometrical progression? Like why this is called geometrical mean? Right? So should I tell you this thing? Should I tell you this thing? How many of you want to know it? Perfect. Perfect. So see, now let's take this as 90 degree. This is A, this is B, this is C. This is also altitude. Now let this length be A, this length be C. Okay? 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 Am I making sense? Right? Let's call it H. Let's call it H. Now this is theta, right? So tan theta is A upon H. But if this is theta, this is 90 minus theta. And this is 90, this is theta. Right? If you do not know trigonometry, just ignore it. So tan theta is also equal to H upon C. So can you see that H square is AC and H is square root of AC. So if an altitude is drawn from the vertex of right angle triangle onto the opposite base, its length will be the geometric mean of these two segments, and that is why it is called geometric mean, because this whole configuration is geometric, isn't it? This whole configuration is geometric. This whole configuration is geometric, isn't it? Isn't it, guys? Guys, am I making absolute sense? Am I making absolute sense? Right? Perfect. Perfect. Right? I think, yeah, this is the property. This is the property which you have to remember, guys. Very, very important property. It will be of very, very immense use. A upon B equals C upon D equals E upon F. Now, see, like these three are numerators. Now, you are multiplying K with first numerator. You are multiplying L with second denominator, with numerator. You are multiplying M with the third numerator. Now, what you have to do, you have to multiply with same numbers to corresponding denominators, and that ratio will be same. That ratio will be same. I think we should definitely prove it. I think we should definitely prove it. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand it. So, what I am going to do, let me first see if, yeah, the content is free here. This is the last property. After this, we will be doing problems. Now, let's solve it. A upon B, C upon D, E upon F. Let this ratio be X. Let this ratio be X. Now, we are given with this number, Ka plus Lc plus Me. Consider this fraction. If this fraction comes out to be X, then we are done. If this ratio comes out to be 1, then we are done, isn't it? If this ratio comes out to be X, then we are done. Now, what I am going to do, I will put A equals Bx, C equals Dx, E equals Fx. Right? 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 This is Kbx, Kdx plus Kfx upon Kb plus Ld. Oh no, Lm. Ld plus MF. Can you see this reducing to X? Right? Yes, Prakshit. This was precisely my point. If you are listening to me very, very carefully, you could have understood this thing. So this is the property where you have written this, right? This implies X equals 3, right? This is what I was trying to say. I have already explained this property. I have already explained this property in earlier slides, but I just wanted to prove this. The proof is not very trivial. It is not very obvious. It requires some effort. Can you please note it down, guys? Got it? Perfect. Let's move on. Combining two ratios. This is very important. So like this is an elementary lecture. You need to understand this thing. This is an elementary lecture and I will be giving you more problems. I will be giving you more problems on it. Right? I will be including PJ exclusive also in this. But this is an elementary lecture. Like I told you, my initial lectures are going to be very, very basic. Can you just write the answer in the chat? And I will give you the exact correct method. (20 is to 36 is to 63). Please write these problems in your please write these problems in your notebook also. So see, like the benchmark rule here is, this is A upon B, which is equals 5 by 9, okay, right? B upon C equals 4 upon 7. Now B is your connecting dot. B is your connecting dot. Now here B corresponds to 9, here B corresponds to 4. Just take LCM of 4 and 9. Just take LCM of 4 and 9. What is LCM of 4 and 9? What is LCM of 4 and 9? Is it 36? Now my intent is going to be convert this 9 into 36. How do I convert it? A upon B, I'll just multiply it with by 4, and we have done this property that if you multiply the ratio with the same number in numerator and the denominator, the ratio won't change. Similarly, I will write this B upon C as by multiplying 9 in numerator as well as denominator. Once you get same number corresponding to B, just do this thing. Combine them and write it in this manner. A upon 20 equals B upon 36 equals C upon 63. This implies A is to B is to C. 20 is to 36 is to 63. Getting my point? Getting my point? This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Right? So this is where the manipulation was involved. There has to be a protocol to combine the two ratios, right? So you just have to make this connecting dot, which was B, both these B should correspond to same number. Here B is corresponding to 36, here B is corresponding to 36. Okay? Please write done. If you have noted it down, just write done so that I can move on to the next page. Please write done so that I can move on to the next page. Done? Perfect. Now, the monthly income of two persons are in ratio 4:5. The monthly expenditure of them are in ratio 7:9. If each saves ₹1,000 per month, find their income. Okay. Let's do it. Monthly incomes of two persons are in ratio 4:5. Now again, this is a very procedural question, but obviously you need to understand that procedure. If their monthly incomes are in ratio 4:5, this means they have this income. Their expenditures are in ratio 7:9. So 7y and 9y. Now they have same saving. So these are the two equations which you get. These are the two equations which you get. But you should not be solving this. You should be very smart in solving them. You will just equate these two. And hence you will get x equals 2y. Right? Am I making sense? How do you get x equals 2y? Just 4x minus 7y equals 5x minus 9y. 9y goes here, 2y, and x goes here. Okay? 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 4:5. Got it? Now this is x equals 2y. So, since I want their income, I want x. So I will put y here. Y equals x by 2. 4x minus 7. Y is x by 2. So x by 2 here equals 1000. Here I get x equals 2000. Now their income was in ratio 4:5. 4x and 5x were their incomes. So 8000 and 10,000. Getting my point? Getting my point? This is how it is done. This is how it is done. I think we can move forward. This is very simple. This was very simple. I think we can move forward. Let's move on. Yes. Please solve it now. Take some time. Take some time, guys. Take some time here. Solve it. Solve it, guys. Solving it. Are you able to solve it? This is very difficult, right? This looks very difficult. But we can solve it using very simple techniques. Yes, this is from Holonite. This is from Holonite. This is from Holonite. Right? Now I am going to use a very famous technique known as LHS equal to RHS. LHS equal to RHS. My LHS is this. Now, the reason why I taught you algebraic identities first, I can say that these are symmetric expressions, right? If this ratio equals k, then this will also be equal to k, this will also be equals to k, because x is related to a. Now you see here, x by a, let's call this ratio r, okay? So x square by a square is r square, isn't it guys? Isn't it guys? Very simple, right? Now see here, please look at it very, very carefully. I will put x square as a square r square and x as ar. So my this expression reduces to, see, a square 1 plus r square upon a 1 plus r, right? So this becomes a times 1 plus r square by upon 1 plus r. Now you should be able to observe that if this is this means this is going to be, this LHS is going to be a plus b plus c upon 1 plus r square upon 1 plus r. Because that way your life will be much more easier. Now your life will be much more easier. Why? Let me tell you. This right hand side is very, very easy now. Just put x as ar. So if you see here, this is a plus b plus c times r plus a plus b plus c, okay? In numerator, you have a plus b plus c whole square into r square, because this whole thing is this, and if you're squaring it, this thing gets squared, r gets squared, plus a plus b plus c whole square. Now, take a plus b plus c whole square, one factor will get cancelled, and you will get a plus b plus c into r square plus 1 upon r plus 1. Our favorite technique, LHS equal to RHS, left hand side equals right hand side. Obviously, this was the critical step. Assuming this ratio to be r, replacing the value of x, y, z in terms of the denominator and r, and coming up with this expression, and then observing, this was the master stroke, then observing that if this is a times something, this is going to be b times something, this is going to be c times something, and this whole expression becomes a plus b plus c into 1 plus r square upon 1 plus r. Done? Now this is very bad. Yeah, now this, in fact, it is good. Somebody was saying, I wanted, sir, r. I have assumed k. K is also good. K is also good. Perfecto. Perfect. Now solve it. This is very similar to what we have done. This is very similar to what we have done. And I will solve it in the same manner. Let's see if you are able to do it. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. X upon b plus c minus a, y upon c plus a minus b, z upon a plus b minus c. Let's solve it. And you just have to think, how do you get ax, how do you get bx, by? You have to think in this manner. And it involves, sir, can we solve your book after this? Yes, the ratio and proportion you can definitely solve. You you have IU. So like my new edition is coming. The new edition has only one change. It has IOQM 2024 paper solved. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Prakshit, you are in the correct direction, but I don't think it will work here. I don't think it will work here. Yeah, that is okay, Akshansh. No problem. Akshansh, you can solve that also. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Now let's see. Let's see. I always approach ratio proportion problem by seeing what is required. Now this is very simple. All I have to do here is, if I add all the numerators, please see here, this is x, right? Now, as long as I am doing the same thing with numerator and denominator, I am adding these three numerators. So this ratio should remain intact if I add the three denominators. Now, if I add three denominators here, I will see there are two A's in addition and one A in subtraction. Ah, interesting. So let's assume this ratio is R. This whole ratio is R, which means your left hand side has come out to be R. Your left hand side has come out to be R. Okay. Your left hand side is reduced to R now. Now let's solve the right hand side, and let's use some manipulation. Let's use some manipulation, shall we? Let's add these two now. If I add these two, I have x plus y. Now if I add these two, C remains here, A gets cancelled, B gets cancelled. So you have this. Automatically, since you are, see, like this ratio will remain intact. So y plus z upon 2a, z plus x upon 2b. This is a very critical step. This ratio will also be R. Please see this. Please see this, guys. If you are okay, then we can move forward. What I have done here, I have just added these two numerators, x plus y, added these two denominators, which means the ratio will remain intact. Y plus z, these two 2a. So this is coming out to be my final expression. If we are okay here, please write done, because this is the most critical step. This is the critical step. And this is where the magic happens. This is where the magic happens. The magic is about to get, like it is about to happen. The magic is about to happen. Now, see what I'm seeing here. Y plus z has x. A also has x. Let's do one thing. Can I use that property of mine that if I had z here, it can be written as this? Whatever is absent, just introduce it, right? So this means if I'm multiplying the same number in numerator and denominator, the ratio remains intact. So this ratio is also equal to R. And what you have to do now, just add the numerators and add the denominators, you will get this expression only. Isn't it? This is magical. This is manipulation. This is why we do IOQM preparation. This is the hallmark of IOQM preparation. It prepares you for such amazing manipulations that your mind gets trained to, like your mind will get trained to accept any type of challenge. Any type of challenge, right? Like I told you, this is where the magic happens. Got it? So just add the numerator, add the denominator, you will get the right hand side. You will get the right hand side. Okay, perfect. Perfect. This method is OP, yes. So just add the numerator, you will get this. Okay, perfect. I hope you have noted it down. I hope you have noted it down. Next, let's do this. This is application of componendo dividendo. Let's use this. Let's solve it, guys. Let's solve it. This is example of componendo dividendo. Tell me the answer. Hindi, yeah, there is Hindi batch. Hindi batch is recorded. I have already taught. And see, like next year, I'm not going to teach in English. Obviously, it is going to be a recorded course only in the next year. Hindi and Hindi batch. If you want to study live in Hindi, you have to join Ramanujan course. Now let's do it. Now I can see like this is very, very dramatic, very difficult looking. I don't have to worry about it. I will just write it as x a plus b upon a minus b. Now, what does componendo dividendo says? Numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator is a upon b. See, like there are two conclusions. There are two conclusions of RMO, like of componendo dividendo. If a by b equals c plus d upon c minus d, this automatically implies a plus b upon a minus b equals c by d. This is very important. So, if you want to convert this into numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator, then you can just simply write this as fraction like this. Now just see, do you want to generate a cube here? Yes. So I will generate a cube here. Let's do cubing on both sides. Now if you remember, what was a cube? M plus 1. What was b cube? M minus 1. Now we have done algebraic identities. I will write this as this, decreasing powers of x. This as decreasing powers of x, right? And alternating. Got it? Now this is another manipulation. in the next step, I am going to do something very amazing. I am going to club the positive terms, x cube plus 3x plus 3x square plus 1. X cube plus 3x minus 3x square plus 1. Now this is m plus 1 upon m minus 1. So again, this is numerator, this is denominator, this is numerator, this is denominator, this is numerator, this is denominator, this is numerator, this is denominator. This implies x cube plus 3x. Reverse of component of dividend, numerator upon denominator equals numerator upon denominator. Okay, now just cross multiply and get this answer. Just cross multiply and get this answer. Am I making sense, guys? So x cube minus 3mx square plus 3x minus 1 equal to minus m equals 0. Okay? 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 Can I follow your 2023 playlist? Yes, you can most certainly do it. If you want to follow me, if you want to follow my Hindi lectures, my time-stamped Hindi lectures with worksheets are being uploaded every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 p.m. My English course is on Wednesday live at 5 p.m. Right? So I have given two options to all the learners. Getting my point? Perfect. Now let's do this. So this is a job things, right? These are direct problems. Work problems. We call it work problems. These problems directly come in IUQM. In my book, these are covered in commercial mathematics. Yes, I will complete full IUQM. And in fact, SPS sir will also take some lectures. Done. Let's do it. 4 men and 3 women finish a job in 6 days, and 5 men and 7 women can do the same job in 4 days. How long will 1 man and 1 woman take to do the work? Right? So see, how do you solve it? Right? The basic step to do it is 4 men are putting efforts in 6 days. So there are 4 into 6, 24 man days, right? 3 women are putting in their effort. So 18 women days, right? So the work is worth 24 man days and 18 women days. Okay? Let's write man days with M, women days with W. Similarly, 5 men, if they work for 4 days, which means 20 man days, plus 7 women for 4 days, 28 women days, it is also the same amount of work, which means 4 men equals 8W. So M equals 2W. So 1 man day is equivalent to 2 women days. Now, how does this solve our problem? We will now represent our work in man days only. 24, M equals 2W plus 18W. Okay. So we have 48, 66. So our work is worth 66 women days. Right? So see, like, there has to be some unit. If I am not a student of physics, I would not know what is the unit of work. I cannot say it is Newton meter per second square, right? Because I don't know physics. What I know is mathematics. And in mathematics, we can invent our own units. So I have invented a unit called Women Day. So my work is worth 66 Women Day. Now what is the question? The question is asking me 1 man and 1 woman. Right? How many days will they take to complete this work? How long will 1 man and 1 woman take to do this work? Right? This is the ask. This is the ask, isn't it? This is the ask. Okay? Am I making sense? Am I making sense, guys? So now, let it be T days. So 1 MT, MT plus WT should be equal to work. Should be equal to work. I think I have made some calculation error here, right? 24 into 2W plus 18W, 4866, right? It should come out to be 22 days, right? It should come out to be 22 days only, right? So this is T days. Now M will be equal to 2WT plus WT equals 66W, right? WWW will get cancelled, T comes out to be 22 days. The answer should be 22 days, right? Isn't it? Oh, this is where I have made the mistake. Yes, this is where I have made the mistake. Sorry. This is where I have made the mistake. Maha mistake. Let me correct it. Guys. See guys, I am also a mortal, right? Human beings make mistake. So this is where I have made the mistake. It is 10W, which means 2M equals 5W. So my work is worth 12 into 2M, 5W plus 18W. So this is equal to 78W. Right? So now my 1 man do work for T days and my 1 woman do for T days. It should be 78W. Now replace W, replace M with 5W by 2, right? So that my WWW gets cancelled. So this becomes 78 into 2 by 7, which is equals to 156 by 7, which is equals to 22 2 by 7, which is option number A. Now do you know what is the convention method? What is the conventional method? You must have seen this method. 4 men, 4 by M plus 3 by W equals 1. These are the 2 equations which usually you see in all the textbooks. This is how you do it. 4 by M plus 3 by W equals 1, and you need to find the value of 1 by M plus 1 by M. Right? Equals to 1 by T. So this T you need to find. This T you need to find. So this is the equation which is usually formed, but I do not follow this. I follow the man day approach, man day and women day approach, because this is where I do not have to use any fraction. I am genuinely very bad in fractions. And just see, if I am saying for myself that I am bad in fraction, that you can assume yourself to be worse in fractions, right? Got it? Got it? Perfect. Let's move on to the next problem. A person distributes his pen among 4 friends, A, B, C and D in the ratio. What is the minimum number of pens that the person should have? Very interesting problem. Very interesting problem. Let's solve it. Let's solve it. Very interesting problem. 57 pence. Distribute among ratios. See, like, first of all, ratios should not be in fraction. So what is the LCM of 3, 4, 5 and 6? What is the LCM of 3, 4, 5 and 6? It is 60. So multiply every number with 60. Right? What do I get? 20 is to 15 is to 12 is to 10. Just add them now. 57 pence. So if you have 57 pence, you can give 20 pence to A, 15 pence to B, 12 pence to C, and 10 pence to D. Right? 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 Perfect. Now, this is, now these are homeworks now. These are homework now. Right? This is homework. This is first homework. This is second homework. This is third homework. Same type of problems, right? I have given you more problems now. Right? You can ignore this. If you want, you can ignore this, because variation is something which is not asked usually. Yeah, this you can find definitely. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. So this was a lecture which you can use as a tool lecture, and it is beneficial for JEE and IOQM, and both has equal weightage of ratio and proportion, right? So I hope you liked it, right? Thank you, guys. So like, if you want to study live from me, follow these English lectures, and if you are comfortable in Hindi, more comfortable in Hindi, then you should definitely follow my lectures which are recorded. Okay, let's crack it, guys.